Blame it on the Boy Scout in me, but I love having my car ready for adventures. I just like being prepared, and I love having my car ready for whatever I want to throw at it. So today I've got for you 15 frugal finds that I found that I can keep in my kid's car to help them be prepared. I'll leave links in the doobly-doo to all the things that you see in today's video in case you're interested in trying any of them for yourself. Amazon sells these really cool microfiber towels. These are pretty spectacular. You never know when you're gonna have to dry off or wipe something down. These towels are actually nice and big. That's my full wingspan of like 5.5 feet or so. It's all microfiber, so whenever I need to wipe down real quick, I've got a nice towel in there. These are just versatile. You never know when you're gonna wanna jump in a lake, go for a quick swim. You never know when somebody's gonna puke in the back seat and you've gotta wipe something down or up or whatever it might be. So having a quick little microfiber towel, super handy. It's really difficult to store food in your car, but there are certain things that you can store in your car safely. One of those things is the Millennium Bar. These bars are shelf stable for years. They're vacuum packed and each one has like 400 calories. There's lemon, there's apricot, all sorts of flavors. I really like these. They're not so likable that you're tempted to eat them all the time, but they are good enough that when you're in a pinch, you can just grab one and go. There are all sorts of stories out there where people get trapped in their cars for hours and days on end. Having an emergency bar in your car like this is really, really good idea. 400 calories, 160 calories from fat, 8 grams of protein. This is not a healthy bar, this is really meant to be a survival bar. So it's trying to get you as many calories as possible, but honestly, they're not that bad. I've had way worse. I've seen other people throw other bars like Cliff Bars and other things in there. That works also, but you gotta be careful because these go rancid after a while. And this one has been in the garage a little bit too long, so we're gonna throw that one out. Along those same lines, little bottles of water to store in your car are really, really easy. It's a great idea. For a couple dollars, it's super simple and honestly really smart to save some bottles of water in your car. It doesn't matter how many you get. I've got 3 that I'm gonna throw in this car today. I think that'll be enough to keep us for most emergencies. This one's a little bit more unusual, but I love zip ties. I use them all the time on my mountain bike. They're extremely frugal. You can buy a whole bag of 100 for like $3 or $4. So it's nice to just grab a handful of these and throw them in your car. You never know when you're gonna have to like cinch a hose together, tie something up, maybe even zip tie your kids' hands behind their back because they're driving you up the wall on a road trip.
Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus!
This next one really is a throwback to my Boy Scout training. Having a first aid kit in your car is essential. Too many times we think that our cars are safe places, but we drive past horrific things sometimes, and being able to save someone's life in a pinch is a fantastic skill to have, especially if it's somebody in your own family. Most little first aid kits are like $20 or so. This one has all sorts of things like antiseptic and all sorts of bandages. I'll leave a list on the screen of all the things that this particular first aid kit comes with. It was like $20 on Amazon. It's just a nice, safe thing to have in the car, just in case of an emergency. It is so easy to grab a small thing of sunscreen, especially when they go on clearance at the end of summer, and just throw it in your car and make sure you always have a little bit of sunscreen in your car, just in case you gotta throw some on, you got a little impromptu beach day, right? Whatever it might be. If you forget, you always wanna know that you've got something in your back pocket to keep you safe and protected from the sun. I can't tell you how many times my family has needed a Ziploc bag in the car. This is a no-brainer. They're so small, they can fold up, they're super dirt cheap, and you never know when you're gonna have to put something really gross, something stinky, just wrapped up nice and tight until you get to the next gas station and you can dispose of it properly. There have been multiple times when we've had car sick kids, and just being able to unzip and puke is really saying something. So don't forget your Ziploc bags. I have had this Leatherman multi-tool in the house for probably 20 years. It never lets me down. But they make some other ones, and I kind of wanted to upgrade my backpack multi-tool. So a nice, easy thing to do is to take the old multi-tool and stick it in the car. The basics really are, you want to get a pair of pliers, a knife, screwdrivers, and that's probably the bare essentials, right? As long as you can get a multi-tool that can do those types of things, it's nice to know that you've got one in the case of an emergency. And quite honestly, every guy needs to have a knife close by. It's not just emergencies, it's really just general use. I saw a video of this tool being used online the other day, and I have been dying to get one, and so I finally just broke down and I got one for each car. And this is the Rescue Me tool. It is a seatbelt cutter and window smasher all in one. So in case you ever get in kind of a car accident, you get trapped. Around in Idaho, I've seen lots of times when people have gotten trapped in snowbanks. You hang it from your rearview mirror, you pull it out, you can cut your seatbelt. It's got a nice seatbelt cutter, razor blade right there, so you can cut that off real quick. When you press this against the window, this little metal piece pops out and smashes the window. And there's some good videos online that shows how quick and easy you just push that right against the window. It'll smash tempered glass and get you out of your car in a real pinch. So I am super stoked to have one of these in the car. Once again, that is the Rescue Me tool. When I have broken down in the dark, I have wanted to have a flashlight. And honestly, what I love about this one is this one's a headlamp. So I can throw it on my head, turn on the light, and see what I'm trying to do and work with both my hands at the same time. I had one specific case where I had hoses and all sorts of other things break inside the engine, and I had to throw water in there and I had to do a bunch of other things. And man, having a headlamp would have been so much more helpful. And I was really, really struggling. So have a headlamp. You never know when you're gonna have to chase down a raccoon or a bear or something else where you're gonna need to have a quick flashlight. I also love this one because it's got the strobe feature. So in case of an emergency, I can use that to get someone's attention. Love having a headlamp in my car. They make some headlamps for really inexpensive. You can usually find any of these from anywhere between 10 to 20 bucks. This one's a no-brainer also. Man, you can always use a roll of duct tape. You never know when you're gonna have to put something back together. Duct tape is also really good when you have to put hoses back together or patch a hose. There's all sorts of hoses in the engine that carry your coolants and other things. Sometimes a roll of duct tape in a pinch will get you to the next spot. Or when you're gonna have to create a cardboard box and duct tape boat. We did that at Scout Camp one year and it was a blast. We called it the Recycle Regatta. But having a roll of duct tape in your car, always a good idea. Next item I want to show you is actually one cool idea that I had only seen the other day, and I've actually got a link in the description for a discount code on this. This tool is pretty darn cool. It is a step that you can attach to your car. It's just a pretty simple little door step with a hook, right? So we're gonna open up the car door. We're just gonna take and put that in. And it sits like that, and all you have to do is just get in here and step right there, and it's great. It's nice and secure. I love it. I can get anything I need to on the top of the SUV. One quick note is that it requires one of these rounded door latches. If you have a Suburban like mine, and it does not take the right door latch. So this is not compatible with the Suburban. That's the downside for me, but I do like how easy it just hooks, and you can see everything is rubber right here so it doesn't scratch up the door jamb, and it kind of wiggles around here loose, but as soon as I step on it, it is super secure. Super quick, easy thing to have. That way I don't have to be stepping all over the seats. I can save all that for this door step. So there you go. That's just a door step that comes in a little case like that, and it folds up nice and small. I can fit that almost anywhere in my car. Wet wipes are such an important and very, very simple thing to store in your car. And they're not just for when you have kids, right? These can be used at any time. When we go mountain biking or hiking, we come back and we're usually covered in sweat and sunscreen and bug spray or food. Fast food spray all over you, right? Whatever it might be, if you're just a completely messy eater like me, always have a little wet wipe, baby wipe in the car just in case of an emergency. You never know when you're gonna have to meet somebody and present yourself cleanly. Leather work gloves. Man, leather work gloves are fun to have. You never know when you're gonna have to grab something hot or it's gonna get too cold outside while you're trying to work on the car, change a tire. Having work gloves is just nice. Man, changing tire on the side of the road in the cold is miserable. work gloves can save your life, or at least save your hands. There's nothing worse in a car emergency than not having a cell phone, especially one that's not charged. Get yourself a USB cord, get a couple extra cords for your car to make sure that no matter what, you always have a charged cell phone. Super, super important. This is something I stress with all of my kids that are driving. I just want them to be safe or have a way to get back to safety. And having a charged cell phone all the time is at the top of that list for me. This car has a little outlet built in down there by itself, but typically those are underpowered. The ones that you get aftermarket like this have a little bit more power and can charge your car just a little faster. So I like having that right there. And that one has 2 USB ports, so I get a little extra power and the option to charge 2 phones at once. For about 20 bucks now, they make these SUV storage bag. They just attach to the back of the back seat. There's even a little Velcro on the back that lets them kind of hold that way. The worst thing is driving around and having all this stuff slosh around in the back of your car. So have a nice place to stash all of these things safely, securely, and consistently so you always know where everything is. So there you go. We've got our 15 frugal finds. We've even got a little extra room to spare so that on the next episode we could actually add a few more things, a few more bare essentials or emergency items to our DIY car kit. If you have other items that you think make better additions to anybody's homemade car kit, I'd love to know what they are. Leave a comment down below. We'll maybe see if we can feature those in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.